So these are truly orphaned because unfortunately the house finch parents decided to nest on a hay barrel, and the hay barrel got relocated to another location, and it was impossible to put the nest back where it came from.
Think Wild, a wildlife hospital and conservation center in Bend, is busy caring for orphaned animals, like these house finches.
You're being very careful in there.
Yeah, so we have a lot of strict protocols for caring for orphan baby birds. So we wear a face cover as well as a ghillie suit, so they have no association with humans that are feeding them. And we also keep them on a feeding schedule. So at this stage, those little house finches are fed every half an hour.
It is common to find baby birds on the ground in late spring and early summer. Sometimes they fall out of their nest before they're capable of flying or get blown around by storms.
People will think that maybe they need to be picked up and rescued when they really don't. Usually they just need to get back up into the nest if they're in a dangerous situation, like cats or dogs are around. But otherwise, that's perfectly natural for birds to do, to bounce out of the nest, be on the ground, and continue being taken care of by their parent until they're fully flighted.
Precocial birds such as ducks and geese and quail are ready to go as soon as they hatch and immediately begin following their parents around. Altricial birds such as robins, raptors, and house finches are born helpless. These birds spend a few weeks in their nest before their feathers fill in and then start learning how to fly.
After hand-rearing a fair amount of baby birds, I'm very appreciative and kind of in awe with how much work a parent bird does. So they have 6 babies at a time, and these babies are very hungry, and they have to make sure that every baby in their nest is fed, so they're constantly going back and forth. It's very energetically costly for them.
These nestling house finches are fed waxworms and crickets soaked in water saturated with vitamins so they get the nutrition and moisture they need. As they grow, their diet will transition to seeds and insects, which rehabilitators will teach them how to find for themselves.
What is it that people assume is going on that really isn't?
People are really concerned about baby wildlife, and to be fair, I mean, they're all adorable. It's very hard to not be like, oh my goodness, this poor thing. But the growing up process for wildlife is incredibly complex. The parent is really essential for an animal to have a complete life and to succeed in the wild. So whenever possible, we're trying to make sure that that animal has the opportunity to be parented and to learn the things that that parent's going to teach it so that it can be successful and bring on another generation.
Other animals, mammals.
Yeah.
You start seeing some wildlife babies this time of year too.
A lot of different strategies that the mammal moms use to keep their babies safe. So you've got deer that will stash their fawns under a bush and only visit them very infrequently to keep predators away. Rabbits also employ that kind of a strategy. So if you find an animal that's by itself, you might assume that it's been abandoned, but again, it's really still being taken care of. It's just hiding out while its mom forages and kind of keeps the predators away.
Unless you're a trained and certified wildlife rehabilitator, do not handle or feed baby wildlife. The best course of action is to call the Wildlife Hotline at 541-241-8680 and ask for guidance on what to do.
You've got people staffing a phone 8 hours a day.
Yeah, so starting June 1st, our hotline will be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we ask that if anyone finds an injured or suspected orphaned animal, before taking any action, please give us a call. We are well equipped to handle any wildlife situation and help you kind of guide the correct course of action.
Last year, Think Wild rehabilitated and released about 200 orphaned animals, including songbirds, waterfowl, raptors, and mammals. This year's call load is ahead of last, perhaps due to the mild winter and the growth of the community, which translates to more people out and about exploring and encountering baby animals in their natural environment.
Be very respectful of wildlife babies when you see them. Like I mentioned, a lot of times the mother or the father is just within sight and they can see their young and they're kind of keeping an eye on it, but they won't come back when you're around.
If you really want to help orphaned animals, donate cash or supplies to Think Wild and let the professionals rehabilitate and release wild animals back into the wild. I'm Brooks Snavely for The Great Outdoors.